Let's bring in the panel, National Security Institute Executive Director Jamil Jaffer and America First Policy Institute Chief Communications Officer Mark Lauder. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Mark, you saw the soundbite that Marianne just played there. You have Pete Buttigieg at the National Association of Counties, right, the conference, and he's talking about racial disparity, but says nothing at all about the train derail. I mean, and then he goes to these other things. He tries to play catch up. It just seems like it's so out of sync. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is really not out of character for Secretary Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he's been behind on the train derailment, on the Southwest Airlines problems over Christmas, over the FAA computer malfunction, even the railroad strike. I mean, this goes to show what happens when the mayor of the fourth largest city in Indiana, who could barely fill potholes, is now in charge of our entire nation's infrastructure system, and it's just an abject failure.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, the whole thing is, you even have the former Ohio State Senator, her name is Nina Turner, and she sent out this tweet, Jamil, because even she's a little bit fed up with Mayor Pete. Quoting here, he jokes about balloons while ignoring East Palestine, Ohio. We deserve better than this. I mean, it really does seem like the Democrats are a little bit fed up as well.
Well, it is obviously a deeply troubling trace what's going on there in Ohio. We really need to get on top of this thing and make sure that, the Secretary of Transportation and the White House is talking about what's going on and making clear to the American people that we are under real threat from this derailment and the fumes coming out of this train.
Yeah, and I want to, if you stand by for a second, because we brought Dr. Mark Siegel on to talk about some other topics. But, Dr. Mark, while we've got you, I want to play this sound from East Palestine, Ohio residents. You saw the pictures. You know what's on the ground there. Listen to this. We'll get your response very quickly. Watch.
I got up and come out, and it smelled like really, really strong paint thinner. And then his eyes turned like bloodshot, and he started coughing, and I was like, yeah, we're leaving. Normalcy. That's what I hope for, normalcy, and nothing in the future, like that my kids are good from this crap.
Right, good from this stuff. I mean, that's the whole thing, Dr. Mark. This stuff appears to be dangerous.
Yeah, there's several layers of danger here. The vinyl chloride, I worry about reproduction, by the way, fertility. I also worry about long-term cancer risk if you continue to be exposed to it. Liver, kidney, lungs, brain, blood cancers, all associated with exposure. This is dangerous stuff. But not only that, it breaks down when you burn it, and you have hydrogen chloride and phosgene gas, which was used during World War I as poison gas. And then on 5 of the other cars, there was another chemical called butyl acrylate that causes your eyes to burn and your skin to burn and headaches. And that's what they're experiencing. Yeah. So clearly, there's toxic chemicals around here, and no doubt getting into the water, which will have a longer-term risk.
It's a big risk, and it's a big concern. Dr. Mark, thank you very much. Now back to Mark Lauder. I want to move on to the balloons, if we can, Mark, because this is one of those things where you're like, well, now you have John Kirby saying they could be benign, they could be corporate, they could be from some other organization. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, you can tell, and it's very telling when senators from both sides of the aisle are coming out of the briefings and saying we didn't learn much that we didn't already know. And this is another case, I think, of lack of transparency. I mean, come on, Joe Biden, this is not the campaign. You got to come out of your basement, come out of the White House, and tell the American people what's going on. It's not alien, but what appears to be alien is transparency with this entire administration.
Yeah, and the New York Times is also kind of venting a bit, Jamil. I want to put this up on the screen. The New York Times writes the following in part, in truth, if the truth is out there, there certainly is not apparent yet. There are 2 big questions around the episodes. What were the craft, and why does the United States appear to be seeing more suddenly and shooting down more? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, Trace, you can't make this stuff up. The idea that the head of NORAD is saying to the American people that he's not sure if they're UFOs or not, and then you have the White House not being clear about what exactly these things are about, what they're doing in our airspace. The president hasn't come out and said anything. It's unbelievable. The fact that members of Congress can't even gather information about what's actually taking place, and the American people know nothing, even though we're taking 3 shoot-downs over American Canadian territory, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, the classified briefing, they walked out and they were like, We really learned nothing. Jamil, Mark Lauder, good to see you both. Thank you.
Good to see you, Trace.
Trace.
Meantime.